Hello dear students, we are going to discuss about systems approach to instructional design. Before going into the topic, we should understand what a system is. A system, by way of description, is a holistic way of viewing. A system is defined as the total of the separate parts working independently and in interaction to achieve previously specified objectives. Thus, systems approach can be defined as a systematic process of solving problems, particularly educational or instructional problems. Systems approach in instructional design was accredited to James Finn, who is the father of instructional design movement. Next, we are going to discuss about the components of a system. The first component is the student. The instructional process essentially is directed to teach students to achieve the goals that have been determined. So, in the development process of design and planning, students should become the central consideration where the decisions taken should consider the condition of the students, including their basic ability, interest, talent, learning, motivation, and the learning styles of the students. Thus, all decisions that we take should begin from the conditions of the students that we teach. Second is the objectives. Objective is the most important component in instruction after student component as the learning subject. Objective is actually a direction that must be used as a reference in creating design and planning as well as instruction in the classroom. The specific objective that have to be planned by the teacher are: first one is knowledge, information and understanding as the objective of the cognitive field. Second is the attitude and appreciation as the objective of the affective field. And third is the various skills and abilities as the objective of the psychomotor field. Third is the learning experience. Various learning experiences should be presented to students in order to help them to achieve the instructional objectives as it has been formulated. These experiences should be able to make students active in learning, both physical and non-physical. One of the instructional planning is providing opportunities to students to study according to their learning style tendencies. Likewise, instructional design should be able to make students learn with great motivation and passion. Therefore, the duty of the teacher is to facilitate students to learn in accordance with the interest, motivation, and at their own learning style. Then comes the learning resources. Learning resources is related to everything that allows students to gain learning experiences. It includes the physical environment such as learning place, the tools used, that includes the library, media, experts, and so forth. The fifth is the learning outcome. Learning outcomes is related to achievement in gaining the skill in accordance with the specific purposes that are planned. Thus, the main duty of the teacher is designing instruments that can generate data for the success of students in achieving instruction objectives. And the last component is feedback. Feedback and reinforcement are the two most pivotal concepts in learning. Feedback involves providing learners with information about their responses, whereas reinforcement affects the tendency to make a specific response again. Information processing theories tend to emphasize the importance of feedback in learning, since the knowledge of result is necessary to correct mistakes and develop new plans. On the other hand, behavioral theories such as Hull, Guthrie, Thorndike, and Skinner focus on the role of reinforcement in motivating individuals' behavior. One of the critical variables in both these cases is the length of time between the response and the feedback or reinforcement. In general, the more immediate the feedback or reinforcement, the more learning is facilitated. The next topic that we are going to discuss is regarding the phases of systems. The first phase of systems approach to instructional design includes, first one is system analysis. It includes determine the instructional goal, analyze the instructional goal, analyze the learner and the context of learning. The second phase is system design, which includes the writing of performance objectives. And the third phase is system development. It includes the development of instructional strategies, development and selection of instruction, development of assessment instruments, and now we can move on to the next phase, that is the implementation. It includes implementation of the system and revision of the instruction. The last phase of instructional design is system evaluation. It includes conducting formative and summative evaluation. Now we can move on to the advantages of systems approach to instructional design. The advantages are, first one, it provides a framework for student learning. Second one is it identifies suitability of resource materials. Third point is it helps in assessing the resource needs, their sources and facilities. Fourth one is it assists in making use of technological devices for attaining goals. And fifth one is orderly introduction of components of system success in terms of students' learning. At last, in this module, we discuss about the teacher's role in systems approach to instructional design. The role of teachers in systems approach to instructional design are, first one, thoroughly assess the input of the system. Second one, gather as much as data possible about the subject matter. Third one, think of alternative processes for achieving the objectives. Fourth one, analyze the objectives into a well-defined learning task. Fifth one, make discussions regarding processes and components based on them. Sixth one, activates the system by putting the plan to action. And seventh one, gather feedback data accordingly and systematically. The eighth point is it modifies the system's components and processes based on the feedback. And ninth is assess the effectiveness of the system by comparing the output with its input. And the 10th one is modify the system based on all resources of feedback. Dear students, I think you all have a clear idea about the system's approach to instructional design. Best wishes to all of you and for all success for the completion of the formative assessment. Thank you.